Hello, and welcome to episode 30 of the Brain Cancer Podcast. First off, I want to say thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to just tune in and listen to the show. If you happen to hear some birds chatting away in the background, that is exactly what they're doing outside right now. I don't know what they are talking about, but it's apparently very interesting, and they've been talking for well over an hour. I had originally planned on doing an episode covering Keppra, as well as potentially doing another episode on dexamethasone, as they are two of the most commonly prescribed drugs that we have to take at some point as brain cancer patients. I will be making those episodes, but I happened to notice the date, and I just wanted to make a short episode just talking about how I've been feeling, as it is 1 year since my last surgery. I am recording this a couple days prior just so I have enough time to edit this and get it out in time. I will definitely be releasing it on the 1 year anniversary of that surgery last year. I don't really have a specific topic or anything I want to cover too thoroughly, but I just wanted to talk about how I've been feeling. After I was diagnosed in September of 2016, I did my immunotherapy trial and the radiation, and I was pretty good for 5 years. I was on the every 2-month scan schedule, which I have been on for quite a while now. Then almost immediately after I had passed the 5-year mark, we noticed these two little spots in my MRIs, and we had watched them for a couple months as they slowly changed and morphed. And then we had decided on surgery. I had about 2 weeks to prepare for that, which was both a good thing and a bad thing. In 2016, I had 0 time to prepare, and that was both a good thing and a bad thing. I suppose it just depends on how you look at it. I think in 2016, what happened was my brain was just so messed up, I didn't really have time to even recognize what was going on or fully comprehend what was going on. It took me a few weeks, even after I came back home from the hospital, to really dig in and get researching on what a glioblastoma and brain cancer in general actually are. That was one of my best coping mechanisms as well. Now, 1 year out from my last surgery, I have this weird feeling like, will I have to have another surgery in 4 more years? Will I have to have another surgery in 6 months? Far too many people with glioblastoma, you're given that 12 to 18 to 24 months timeline, and I'm so thankful to still be here 5 years later, but I feel like I'm almost at this point where I don't know how to move forward with my life, and I think my situation is somewhat unique. I don't have kids. I don't own a house. I prefer renting. And I love living in Boston. As we all know, though, everything is going up, getting more expensive, and the world is so different from even what it was 5 or 10 years ago. There's just so much negativity in the world. It seems like some people don't really know how to appreciate what we really have in this world right now. I'm super thankful for everything that I have. I'm just at this point where I don't really know what direction to go. I'd like to be able to just go visit all these different places, or even be able to move somewhere else. But the main thing that is keeping me here, other than my love for the Boston area, is my medical team. I don't want to lose that. But at the same time, I want to be able to still live the life that I want to live. It is really hard to put into words. And I don't want people to think that I'm selfish if I just move somewhere else. Although that's not my plan right now, I would like to be able to have that as an option. there are still a lot of places that I would like to go, either on vacation or just for a short trip, whatever it might be. And there's just so much uncertainty with a brain cancer diagnosis that I don't know when or if or how long it might be until it comes back. Realistically, glioblastoma will almost always come back. Mine came back, but it was after 5 years. Now I feel like I'm in the cycle where I say, like I said before, is it another 4 years? Is it a couple of years? 10 years? But I know that as I get older, I won't be able to quickly bounce back from surgery like I did last year. I was in and out and back home by the next morning. I don't know if I would be able to do that in 10 or 15 years if I'm still around. And that leads me to just wanting to live in the moment and in the day. And as we all know, it's so hard planning for anything in the future when we're living essentially scan to scan. Then there's the fear that if I go to 6-month MRIs, what if something happens in between? And it really places us in this awkward position where I'm in this constant state of limbo. It just seems really hard for me at times to know which way to go. One thing that I am so thankful for is all of you. I've met so many amazing people doing this, and I want to keep doing it. I love doing this. I've met so many amazing people doing this. I'm very happy that I decided to commit to doing something like this. It helps me, and I know it helps other people. And that's really what I want to do with my life and hopefully be able to help other people. I do have a couple episodes lined up and a couple that I actually have to write out a script for. It might be a bit of an experimental episode, but I think it's a really neat concept. And I'm really excited to get writing on that, which I will try and do over the next few days. Also, over the past weekend, MGH had a patient and family symposium for brain cancer. They had 2 breakout sessions after the initial intro part. Unfortunately, the second breakout session, which I was really interested in, which was brain tumors in young adults, there was some sort of problem where the person had an emergency come up and they couldn't make it to the webinar. The entire webinar was great. I had a good time. My neuro-oncologist was one of the initial speakers, and she had spoken on how to care for the caregiver, which is also extremely important. I will try and find out when the video on demands will be posted and where they will be posted so I can share them with all of you. Also, the American Brain Tumor Association does host their own webinars, and you can find them on their YouTube page. It's also worth visiting their webpage so that you can sign up for their list so you know when webinars you might be interested in are coming up, because they usually do one every month, I think. It is Brain Cancer Awareness Month too, so I'm so glad that I've seen people posting online about sharing their stories and making it known that brain cancer is a serious, serious disease. It doesn't get nearly the funding or attention that it deserves. Sometimes for me, just sitting down and talking into my mic just works as a therapy session for me. And I want to say thank you all so much for just listening to me, because I know this isn't a very in-depth or focused episode, but I just needed to sit down and chat. I will also be recording another trailer soon, because I think I had recorded one in the early days, but I'm sure that it needs updating now. In fact, I haven't actually gone back and listened to any of the early episodes that I did because I'm sort of scared, I guess. I don't know how the sound quality is or how I sounded, but I'd like to think that I've gotten a little bit better over a couple of years. I don't know how many people actually listen to the trailer, but I think I can look it up on the Podbean site, which I use. I think I'm just going to wrap it up here. because I want to get this episode edited, even though I'm not going to edit it too much, and be able to get it put out for my 1-year mark of my second surgery. Hopefully we don't have any more surgeries in the future, but then that leads me right back to the circle question that I've been having in my head for quite a while now. Thank you all so much. It really is hard to explain how important you all are to me. And if you need me for anything, you can reach out at braincancerpodcast@gmail.com. If you ever need to chat or just want to talk, we can do a Zoom meeting, a Discord meeting, Discord chat through the voice channels, whatever it might be. You can also follow the page on Facebook where I post every single day at facebook.com/braincancerpodcast. You can follow the page on Twitter at twitter.com/braincancerpod. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, whatever it might be on whatever hosting site you use. I see many people use Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, along with a whole host of other listening places. I'm on Podbean, so if you have that app, you can always leave a review if you want as well. Or leave a review on the Facebook page as well. Once again, I will be back soon with our May update, and I do have quite a few stories that I want to cover. In addition to, I'll be posting a couple stories on the Facebook as well. I really want to talk about the Philadelphia Phillies brain cancer cluster, which I had actually heard about, and I'm glad that it's being brought up now. There was something there that was causing these brain cancer cases. And one of the top theories that I've heard is that it was the use of the radar guns, which explains why it was only Phillies players and not Eagles players, because they don't use a radar gun in football, but they use them for the pitchers and catchers in baseball. I really enjoy doing the news episodes, and I'm glad that I've gotten such positive feedback with them as well. Thank you all so much for tuning in and all of your kind words. I hope you all have a great day or night, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.